Michael, I saw that Roger.
Sorry about
said-
that, Pete. I don't know what happened, but I got cut off there for some reason. Sorry about that, you guys. Might have difficulties here with recording that is supposed to take place. So really sorry about that, you guys. Bad connection, I guess. Listen, Pete, just to go back real quickly within 60 seconds. So thank you for breaking down the travel time pay. So 2 examples. Number 1, if you start at Flynn at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you finish at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Trans Bay Terminal, okay? And then you go back to Flynn to pick up your car because you parked your car there at 6 in the morning. Does the agency, according to the law and what the judge ruled, does the agency have to pay you?
According to what the judge ruled, Roger, it's not compensable. According to our lawyer, according to the lawyer of the case, one person that we know from Green said, get another opinion. We have 3 opinions. I don't know, maybe we want to spend more money and see if there's another lawyer who would say, oh, it is, or another judge, but it's pretty standard that it's not. And Roger, just to throw it on, I have talked to, the guys at Samtrans. You and I talked to it was last week. We talked to the guys at Samtrans, talked to the guy. Samtrans is different than us. They're driving up and down the peninsula, El Camino Real, right? They actually do get paid a little bit but then they make $33 an hour. We make $7 an hour more than
Got
that.
it. So you answered that.
So you $9 less an hour.
Okay, so you answered that question. Thank you for that. The question was, if you park your car at 6 in the morning at Flynn, you pull out from Flynn, and then you get relieved at Trans Bay at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you go back to Flynn to pick up your car. You're saying that the judge, the law, our lawyer said that SFMTA does not pay you for that. Okay, got it. Next question is, if you start at Flynn at 6 in the morning and you finish your first half at the Trans Bay Terminal at 10 o'clock in the morning, okay? And then the agency says, okay, you need to come back to Flynn Division to pull out a 14 line. Do you get paid for that, Pete?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the difference right there that you're talking about. Okay, I'm glad that you were able to explain that. So I'm sorry I got cut off, you guys. I'm in a 3rd world country at the moment, and internet is really spotty down here. I'm really sorry about that. So Pete, thank you for helping clear that up for everybody.
Roger, hold on. Just 1 or 2 sentences. Anytime the agency tells you to drive somewhere or go somewhere, the agency, not your wife, not your kids, not whatever, anytime the agency, go turn in this form here, go do that, you get paid.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you for that. Earlier on, you guys, I told you that we're going to be mentioning to you some of the proposals that we have going forward. We're not going to get into detail. If you would like to come down and talk to us at the union office, please come down. We'd love to talk to you guys about this. So I'm just going to go through some of these. Wage increases is obviously a big one. Wage progression is obviously another one. Parking, I know that there's a lot of commotion going around about the SFMTA kicking out all of the operators from parking inside the divisions, because what's been happening is, for example, somebody has an accident, their car gets damaged, and then that operator says, hey, SFMTA, Joe Blow damaged my car, and I want you, the agency, to pay for it. The agency says, we're not paying you for it. Then you say, well, the operator says, well, then I'm going to file a lawsuit. The agency says, oh, really? You're going to file a lawsuit? Okay, I'll just kick you and everybody else out because you have no parking. So go ahead, file your lawsuit, and we're kicking all of you guys out. So usually what ends up happening is one bad apple spoils the rest of the bunch. That's kind of what's been happening. And so we're working on a proposal to try to secure guaranteed parking for the operators on site at each division. We also have proposals for premium pays, the lunch premium that we get. Hazard pay is a big one. There's also automation. If you guys haven't been that in tune with automation, the agency is ramping up their automation industry and moving forward with that. So that's going to be very, very soon. And I understand that there might be a couple of people saying, well, you know what, that really doesn't pertain to me because I'm going to be retiring in a year or 2 years. Well, I'm looking at this, and we should be looking at this in the long term. the next 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Because if you want your relatives, your kids, your grandkids, et cetera, to have a job here at SFMTA or within the city and county of San Francisco, well, then we're going to have to protect these jobs. So we cannot just be looking out for what's going to happen before you retire. We need to be looking out in terms of preserving these jobs ongoing, preserving and protecting jobs for humans, not for robots. So that's a very important issue. And like I said, some people might think that it's irrelevant or it doesn't pertain to them, but that's fine. We're not looking at this from an individual perspective. We're looking at this system-wide, going forward, going onward. So that's what's coming forward in terms of automation proposal. We definitely have the hazard pay, which I just mentioned, and the convenience pay, which is completely, not completely, but is separate from what Pete Wilson was talking about in terms of travel time. So there's inconvenience pay and then there's travel time. Setting up some type of clear language so that there is zero ambiguity, because what's screwing up a lot of operators in terms of understanding the information or the misinformation is this lack of transparency, this lack of clarity in terms of how things are worded. And the agency likes it when MOUs are worded in an ambiguous manner. That way they can interpret it in whatever way, shape, or form their lawyers, their attorneys, their law firms go for. So securing language that is much more concrete with minimal ambiguity to it. Pete Wilson, anything else you wanted to chime in with that? Okay.
No, you're 100% right. And you're right about the ambiguity. The agency likes to keep it fuzzy. And just one thing, Roger, all these things that you're talking about, it'd be great to get them. Once again, as I mentioned before, and other people have mentioned, is when you get something, you often have to give up something or work something out. So it's not like it's not Roger's promising all these things. It's we're looking into all these things, right?
Fantastic. So before we open it up to the chairpersons and for questions, comments, etc., I did want to say that we do have the elections coming up, you guys, in 11 months this year, 2022. So I'm encouraging anybody and everybody to get up, stand up, move forward, and read the MOU, read the Constitution, read the bylaws. And if you feel that you're ready, willing, and able, then run for a position, please. No hard feelings on anybody in any way, shape, or form. I'm encouraging everybody to run for a position, whatever position you want to go for: president, treasurer, executive vice president, chairperson, union secretary, vice chairperson, whatever you want to go for. Take that initiative, take that leadership role, stand up, take that step forward, and may the best person win, you guys. So please stand up and take that step forward. There's a lot of people with ideas out there that are moving down, that are coming forward with many different types of ideas, suggestions, etc. If you have the solution, be a part of the solution. Don't be a problem by simply whining and complaining and moaning about it on Facebook. Step up. Be the leader that you claim that you are. Step up to the plate. Run for office. It's very simple. Be a union member for the past 12 continuous months and run for that position. And I'm encouraging everybody, if you're one of those people that has the answer or answers or possible solutions, then please step up to the plate. Stop talking on Facebook and stop complaining about it. Step up to the plate, run for office. I'm encouraging everybody to do it in whatever capacity that you can. All right, you guys? I'd like to ask some of the union representatives on board if you guys would like to chime in. I know that we have, I see a couple of people here. We have Chairperson Davis from Cable Car Division. Actually, Chairperson Davis from Cable Car, why don't you give us some update about Cable Car Division? What's going on? What's happening? Anything that you guys are working on in terms of trying to get back the cable car lines? I was out at the Cable Car Division a couple of days ago talking to the chairperson there. Kevin Davis, are you around?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chairperson Davis.
What do you want me to explain?
Just anything that's going on at the Cable Car Division, anything that you're working on, anything new, anything different?
No, only thing we're working on is trying to get more runs added to this next sign up.
Copy that. Thank you, Chairperson Davis. I see we have the Vice Chairperson from the 7410 Automotive Service Workers, Al Gonzalez. You want to chime in, Al Gonzalez? Vice Chairperson Al Gonzalez, you have to unmute yourself. Vice Chairperson Al Gonzalez from 7410 Automotive Service Workers. Okay, I do not see him unmuting himself. Vice Chairperson Walter Cortez from Azaleas Creek. Walter Cortez, do you have any updates pertaining to Azaleas Creek Division?
Yeah, apparently we're gonna have a sign up on the 31st for the vacation sign up because I know everybody's been asking. So today we had a meeting and good news, we have a sign up on the 31st. We're gonna be posting on the 24th. So everybody can check it out, their time and date, especially their time for their sign up.
Copy
Hey,
that.
Walter, and remember, they were going to try and do it electronic, right? But it's going to go back to just paper, this one.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't finish the whole IT. The department didn't finish the program.
Copy that. Chairperson, Flynn Division, Chairperson Ballister. Any updates from Flynn? Chairperson Ballister?
Hey, Roger, I'm here if you can hear me.
Oh, there you go. Vice Chairperson Al, go ahead.
So we're going to start working on our sign up. It's projected that we're going to be doing sign ups. We have 20 7410s jumping on board approximately March. So we should be having a sign up soon after that. We are hopefully starting on negotiation language proposals. If there's any 7410s here, feel free to reach out to myself or Alan and give us any suggestions or pointers you guys might have. And I also encourage not just 7410s, but all union members to download the Union Strong app. It's easier way for the union to communicate and pass information down to the members. And that's all I got for now.
Copy that. Thank you, Vice Chairperson Al Gonzalez. And I know that we had Chairperson, Flynn Division Chairperson Anthony Ballister, but I don't know what happened to him. Do you see him out there, Pete? What happened to him?
Anthony's here.
Can you unmute him? I can't see him. I
He's
can't find
unmuted.
him.
He's unmuted.
I'm already unmuted.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Chairperson Ballister from Flynn. Any updates?
Okay, the only updates we have is that, of course, we have the GSU kicking in this Saturday. And what the agency is doing is, for some reason, they said we don't have enough operators. So in the beginning of December, they cut out the 14 hours short. And then that's half the runs on the 14-hour. And that's Monday through Friday. So I've been fighting the agency on this, and Roger and Pete and all the union chairs, we're already concerned because when you take out half the runs on a 14-hour, that's serious. I was on the 14-hour this morning, and on the second inbound trip, man, it was just crazy, man. It was packed like sardines, like pre-COVID. And this is something I took pictures. I'm going to bring it up to the. We're having another meeting Monday with management regarding cutting the runs, and I'm going to show them the pictures because management does not go off there, and they're worried about the virus being spreading, and it's going back because the coaches are at capacity as a pre-COVID, and that I'm finally get the 14-hour short back, and then 49 short on the weekends also, and so as far as what's going on there, that's really big issues not only for our operators, but for the member of the public and for our families, because we're out there, we bring diseases back or whatever issues we have back to families. And I always stated that, the way we're being treated by the agency, which, they're trying to say we don't have enough operators. Our work, we want to keep it at work. But when the agency frustrates us at work, and then we take it home, and then, some operators might go home upset, and then they take it out on the family, or maybe not in a good mood. So this is something I'm fighting. And if I don't get something done Monday, when we speak to the agency, I'll be going to the SMTA board of directors. I'm going to bring this out because I'm tired of talking to the agency. They're not listening. And then when I go to the SMTA board of directors, that's public. Everybody's going to hear this. And I already let John Kennedy, which is assistant planning, know about this. And Judy Cushbaum, she was in on an email. She knows about this. Next, I'm going to go to Jeff Tumlin. And if this continues, then my next step is going to be the SMTA board of directors. And it's not only for Flynn Division, but for all operators. We're being disrespected out there. I'm just done with it, and I'm tired of it. That's about it, man. All right.
Thank you, Chairperson Ballister. I see that we have, let's see, Zoma from Kirkland Division. Any updates? Secretary Zoma from Kirkland. Nothing from Kirkland Division, okay. I see Chairperson Bowman from Woods. Chairperson Bowman, any updates from Woods Division? Chairperson Bowman, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. No updates. I just encourage everyone who can do better to get your campaigns together. The election is coming.
Thank you, Chairperson Bowman. And I see one union rep from Presidio, and that's our Secretary Giselle. Giselle, do you have any updates from the Presidio yard? Giselle Mahan, Secretary. Giselle, any updates from Presidio?
No updates.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else, any union representatives that have any other updates? If not, I will ask members to please raise your hand or do a virtual if you have a picture there, so I can somewhat see some people here on the screen. It's kind of weird how you guys all look here, and it's kind of difficult, but you can do a virtual. If you actually have your camera on, you can do this, and I can see some people. Okay, I see one person there that says,
Roger, I did have something for you, Roger. I have an update.
okay, Treasurer Michael
Yeah,
Dennis, go
I had
ahead.
my hand. Okay, yeah, this is just an update about the overtime slips. Those overtime slips that we turn in, there's been a change that the management has made on those slips, and they didn't really announce it to us, but they made a change, a managerial change to the dispatchers, and it's two changes really. Is the practice of when they want to reject an overtime slip, if you left your bus number off or the date's missing or some irrelevant information, they'll stick it on the window and it can hang there for weeks and until you find it, or if you don't find it, you never get paid. They cannot do that anymore. We brought up that for one is an invasion of privacy to have your that's a Word document that you're filling out to hang it on the window. And two, it's illegal because they have an obligation to pay overtime within the next pay period after you submit it. And that just takes a lot of time with it hanging on the window and stuff. And they cannot legally not pay you overtime that you worked for the stupid reasons they were giving, like, well, we didn't have a bus number. If you work the overtime, you're reporting overtime. Yes, you'll get paid faster if all the information is there, but they cannot say we're not going to pay you because the bus number is off or something. So what they're instructed to do by their supervisor, then this is all the dispatchers are instructed to not put them up on the window if they need more information. They're supposed to go into your morning paperwork the next day or mail if you're a nighttime person, so that they ask you directly that, okay, there's a problem, we need a little bit more information on here, and it'll get processed. That might be a 1-day delay or a maximum of 3 days delay if you're off for 2 days, but you will get paid that overtime and you'll get paid promptly. And it's not, the dispatchers are not to reject it. Now, if they want to take some time and, validify it, I don't know, that they do that on every single one, or what they do if they want to use, the GPS or whatever they want to check. That's entirely up to them, but not at the dispatcher acceptance level. They are instructed to accept all overtime slips and to enter them in trapeze right away and to get the answers that they need right away. So please all the chair people are aware about this. Let your chairperson know if they're trying to jerk you around on those overtime slips. They're not supposed to.
All right, thank you for that, my Secretary Treasurer Michael Dennis. So we have Stanley's iPhone and then Gregory Richardson. So that's very important, you guys, what Michael Dennis just stated. So if you see any overtime slips hanging on the window, that might be a potential crime because that's your money hanging up on the window. Dispatchers are not supposed to do that. They've been instructed not to do that. Our union representatives know that if they see overtime slips hanging on the window, that they need to work with the dispatcher to make sure that that person or those people get paid, because that's actual time work. That's your money and the agency has to pay you. So please, if you happen to see that, bring it to the attention of a union rep so we can get that taken care of. Stanley's iPhone, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself. Stanley's iPhone.
Hey, hi, Roger.
Hi,
Everybody. Hey,
Hi, Stanley.
you know what? Anthony just brought up the 14 Rapid. The manager tried to, discontinue the short trip. You know what? We need to speak up. Pretty much this month recently, I've been doing the mission trip every day. Most of the time they were 14 rapid, 14 minutes headway. You think about 14 minutes headway. What between 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Do you think the operators is really tired for real? Every trip, no layover time. I'm not saying no layover time, probably 5-6 minutes, something like that. It's not right. We can let the management whatever they want to do because the lack of operator. Is that right?
That's right. Are you, Stanley, working with Chairperson Ballister on this?
No, we've been discussed this for a lot, so many times. But they, Anthony told us that, recently they have a meeting with the management. They mentioned that they wanted continuously to, discontinue the short trip. That's not right. Whoever the operator, doing the 14 rapids, there's no way to, to have a double heavy every day.
Pete Wilson, do we have a meeting coming up with system safety or system planning, or with what's his name? Sean, I'm blanking out on his last name.
Sean Kennedy.
Sean Kennedy.
This has been said to Sean Kennedy over and over and over. Anthony brings it up continuously. I was actually speaking to one of your members today, Anthony, and just saying, you give Anthony kudos for that. There's not enough 14 Rs. There's not enough 38 Rs. And the agency is just whining about how many people they have. I met the new class yesterday. There's 14 people. Julie Kirschbaum promised 41 in either the next class or the class after it. We can just keep pushing against Sean. So one of the problems is, Roger, before you go to the next person, Anthony did speak about all these runs being canceled. Roger, this is definitely something we need to fight the agency on. 13.6 says if they cancel people's runs, that they need to be within an hour. That's not an hour before and an hour after. It's an hour total. And the agency has now changed that to just an hour to begin with. And that's totally wrong. And we need to file a grievance, file a perp charge, and come up with something stronger.
That's actually another one of the proposals that we have, is clearing up that language. So thank you for that. Gregory Richardson, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself, Gregory Richardson. You have to unmute yourself.
Can you?
Okay, there you go. We can hear you.
Can you
Gregory.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hey,
Greg.
how you doing, Rod? You're in Pete. I just want to bring you. I see Ramon. I'm not sure if he's still on. If he's still on there. This is Greg. Rod, you remember? I'm 1790. I'm from out of Green Division.
Yes.
And yes, I just want to bring to you guys' attention that I filed a workman comp claim back in November, and I've been off work since November and have not been paid. What is the procedure of the operator have to wait? How long do we have to wait before they get paid?
I believe that unfortunately it's up to 90-day waiting period. Is that correct, Pete Wilson? Up to a 90-day waiting period for them to make a decision, unfortunately.
And the good thing for them, so that they can not take the blame, is they hired an outside agency to do it. I forgot what they're called, but yeah.
That's what I'm kind of assuming what's going on now. And they did send me a letter, said, well, we will make our determine at later this month. So I understand that. So I am under doctor care at this time due to my back and my psychology, due to mental situation. And so they released me to come back with restriction. I understand that many do not require drivers to come back if you have a restriction. I understand that. So I'm assuming that after I got the letter back to the division superintendent, that they have sent it down to the RTW, and RTW for to send it to the accommodation. So I haven't heard anything from them from this day.
Do me a favor, Gregory. So
yes.
Reach out to to Pete Wilson and to Michael Dennis, and also to me. Just send us an email, And with
Roger,
exact-
I've had a request from the chair people that he reach out to his chairperson first. You know, okay, I just want to say that I love helping people, but I've been reminded over and over and over, they need to reach out to their chairperson first. And then I
So
will.
Greg,
assist that
Greg,
chairperson.
have you reached out to your chairperson? You mentioned him earlier.
Yes, Ramon called, Ramon just got back in, I guess maybe this week or last week, and they had one person as his assistant, and then I talked to them, you know.
Okay, got it. So what we'll do then is we'll check in with the chairperson over at your yard, because like Pete said, we don't want to step on anybody's toes. You know what I mean? Because Ramon might say that he's working on this. You know, we don't want to step on anybody's toes. So
I
we'll reach
understand
out.
that, yes.
We'll reach out to him specifically to your situation. Okay.
Okay, then, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Rogers. Okay.
Okay. Next, it says Eric. You have to unmute yourself, Eric. It just says Eric, E-R-I-C. You have to unmute yourself, Eric, E-R-I-C.
What the heck? Oh, no. Okay, can you hear me, Roger?
Hi, Eric. We can hear you.
Okay, this is Eric out of Green Division. I have two issues. Right now, if you want to leave out of Green Division, you have to put a miscellaneous and you have to go over the computer off of SF Portal. Everybody know that SF Portal is always having problems. You call IT can fix it. So, since they have this miscellaneous thing that has to go over the portal, we have to do something about that, because IT doesn't get their stuff correct. And that means for me, if I want to leave out of green, I have to do it over the computer, and it's not working. They also took the miscellaneous out, even if you have like an incident on the bus or train or whatever the case may be, it all has to be done over the computer. We have to fight that, because if I have an issue and I want to report it, I can't report it over the computer if we're always locked out. And every time you call IT, they can't help you. So that's one of the issues we really need to get on, because they're changing everything to computers. And their fallback is, oh, you're locked out. Call IT.
Okay, so that's a great point. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna ask Pete Wilson if he can send out some messages tomorrow to the senior operations manager and the people above the senior operations manager to get this taken care of. And I think one of the easiest ways, Eric, to be able to fix that is just simply have both, being able to do it online and or the regular way that we used to do it, which is on paper, if and or when you are locked out. So is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you go in and talk to the dispatcher or even one to the manager, they just say do it over the portal. At the same time, I'm like, hey, our way to fight something or to report an issue right now is by miscellaneous. They have a manager that's sitting in that office. He's making 6 figures. He's there every day. He should be able to take this piece of paper and read it to validate it, because putting over the portal, waiting for IT to get back to you, not to lock you out, that's craziness.
Agreed. Thanks for bringing that up, and we'll get this taken care of. I'll ask Pete Wilson to make some phone calls and send out some emails tomorrow so we can get this fixed.
I have one more question. I know that they have this big thing about COVID, and right now, they do the tracing and they give you, if you are come in contact, they call you, let you know, they give you 5 days. Muni was given some operators 10 days. One of our operators at Green they had tracing with COVID. She ended up getting 10 days. She didn't have enough sick time. So we need to come to management and let management know, or somehow, some way, since we're going through this COVID and they've already let people borrow sick time from last year for COVID, and you had the 80 hours, if you've used that all up already, now if they're trace you and they say, hey, you got it, you got to take 5 days off, you're not getting paid. As long as they state that we're in this emergency, this pandemic, they should allow us to use our vacation time, because you got operators who's going to be going out with this new variant and they're not going to be paid. And to make things even worse, they've already borrowed from last year. So this whole year, they're not getting any sick time. So, that's something we should talk to them about.
Copy that. Anything else, Eric, from Green?
No, that's it.
Hey,
Thank you,
Roger,
sir.
I'm sorry, before you go on, I just want to say, Eric, that manager in there,
Uh-huh.
your union is there to support you, and unions are there to fight for your rights. but that manager, he's your manager. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with going in and saying, hey, Z, man, I can't get this miscellaneous thing to work. Can you get this? You know what I'm saying? That's his,
Yeah.
that's his responsibility. So
Well, you know,
code is there to help you and support you, but we need to not forget that those managers are there to support us as well, as are the dispatchers and everybody else. So
absolutely. And now they've changed it. Now we have Paul over there from Cable Car. But the point of the matter is there's somebody in the office. He's getting paid a lot of money. And the miscellaneous was our first defense for anything. They have now put it on computer. So that means if I get somebody says they're gonna kill me today and I gotta go put it on the computer and I'm locked out, how that help me? You know what I'm saying? That should have never been taken away from us. They should have never allowed, well, we should have never allowed as a union to let them say, hey, everything's under IT, because their IT people can't never get anything correct. You know what I'm saying?
Eric, I brought this up and I was told that there was paper backup. So if there's not paper backup, is it Paul Lee who's there, or what's Paul?
Yeah, it's Paul Wong.
Paul
He was a cable car guy, and there is no miscellaneous forms in MME or Balboa. So
Okay.
if they are forms, they must be hidden, because I went in there. I'm a driver. I drive at night. I went in there, no forms.
Okay.
Got it.
So-
Thank you
Talk
for
to
that,
Ramon.
Eric.
I'll talk to
Appreciate
Ramon.
that.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night, guys. Stay
Thank
safe.
you. Okay, let's hear from, it says, yeah, YEAH, and then Kevin. YEAH, yeah.
Yeah, I just had one question for Pete. Pete, you spoke to some about the Proposition G, a lot of that got turned over,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Didn't you speak that a lot of that got overturned by the Superior Court?
Well, if was it Superior Court, Roger, or was it just PERB? You know what we could do is the next
Was
email I
PERB.
sent. Yeah, the next email I send out, I mean, your chairperson should have a copy of that decision and they could explain it to you. I don't have a copy with me right now. I wasn't planning on speaking about that too much. But I can send it out in email to the membership.
Well, I do think it was a Superior Court. It was that young lady that passed away not too long ago, the little short lady. And she ruled in our favor on a lot of that stuff. And a lot of that stuff was supposed to be posted in all the divisions, and it haven't been done. So a lot of members up there are not aware of that. I was trying to get a lot of that information out, and a lot of people just, brush it to the side. I mean, that was big for the drivers. And the union, that was supposed to have been posted in all the divisions, but it never happened. And I just want to know why it never happened.
Can you do me a favor and email Pete Wilson directly so that he can send you the information? And then we will also send out the information via email to all of our members, and we'll also put it up on the Union Strong app. I believe it was posted quite often, and I even remember management posting it as well at the divisions. I do remember that when they got taken. Yes, I personally saw that. I personally witnessed it.
If they posted, where would they post it at? Where was it supposed to be posted?
I saw it posted on the bulletin boards. Now, if and or when that got taken down, that I cannot confirm. So if it's not up there now, it was at some point in time and someone took it down, maybe to replace it with something else, with something new, something different. I don't know. But if that's your request, like I said, we got no problem. We'll redo it again. We'll send it out via Union Strong app. We'll send it out through the email to all of our members. You can email Pete Wilson yourself so he can send it directly to you, and we'll send it out to all of our union representatives so that they can repost it at their barns on their bulletin boards as well.
Okay, but a statement like that should never be taken down. That should always remain up there for all the drivers to see. I mean, I've never seen it posted in my division, and I've been crying about it for the longest, so.
We'll make sure that happens
Stop.
ASAP. And can you do me a favor and reach out to Pete Wilson? Can you, via email, can you do that?
Yes, I can do that. Thanks.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, next it says Kevin. So go ahead, Kevin, please. You have to unmute yourself, Kevin.
My question is simple. It's like, why is it not bus passenger restrictions on the buses? COVID going crazy right now, but it's unlimited people on the buses. And we getting sick because we put people on the buses.
You're requesting passenger limits, is that correct?
It used to be if you get so many people on the bus, keep going, or tell you if no more passengers, capacity full. Now it's like no limits on the buses. Put everybody on the bus and keep it rolling. And it's not a lot of operators out here, so buses are getting really full, and COVID is going crazy right now.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, at our next JLMB meeting and at our next bi-weekly meeting with TWU and MTA, maybe even tomorrow with our grievance committee, we'll bring this up to see what we can do about putting back into place the previous bus limitations for the 30-footers, the 40-footers, and the 60-footers. I don't remember what the restrictions were on the trains. So Pete Wilson, can you do me a favor and note that down, please? So we can bring that up at our next JLMB bi-weekly and tomorrow with our grievance committee.
Sure. I don't agree with her, but you know what, Julie? Okay, you don't like me to use names. The head of transit says it's they dropped those because of vaccinations. That's her shtick on that. But we can bring it up.
Anything else, Kevin?
Yeah, they just the vaccinations, but when your bus is super packed, cause ain't nobody working no more, so your bus is hella packed. Can you just ride by people and not get in trouble for it?
If you call it in and you report it to TMC saying, hey, I'm passing, passengers up because of a full load, then it's documented. So you're okay, because in the name of health and safety, you had to pass people up, but you have to document it. There's been times when passengers get passed up and they get angry and they call in and then they verify through video if the operator was actually full or not. And in some cases, there's been 3 passengers on the buses, and that's when the operator then gets into this with the manager. You know what I mean?
I understand. I caught COVID on a packed ass bus, but I'm not blaming nobody. But next time, I'm just gonna keep going. I'll put it like that.
Please just document it. That's all I'm requesting. I'm making it public. Please document it, Kevin, by calling TMC and
when
letting
you
them know.
call, you don't get called back to 5 stops down the line. I mean.
And that's perfectly fine.
No.
That's perfectly fine, as long as you just simply document it. Hey, TMC, I had to do X, Y, and Z because of 1, 2, 3. It's documented.
All right, cool. That's good for me.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay,
Thank
next
you.
it says, Miss Smothers. Miss Smothers, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Smothers.
Hi. 1635 from Cable Car. And I'm sitting here just shaking my head because what I hear tonight is appalling. All I'm hearing is what a judge said we couldn't have, what a judge said we didn't, they didn't agree to. This is the only regime that I have ever heard of that they never meet and confer with you. When it is about the contract, they just take it out. They unilaterally. These are your words. They took it out. They unilaterally stopped doing this. They unilaterally stopped doing that. What happened to negotiation? If they not meeting and conferring with you, you need to stop talking to them, period. And we need to start doing something. We need to be standing up. All I'm hearing, first of all, I'm at a barn that is short of people. They are dismantling the cable car barn person by person. We have 5 operators leaving that barn on Monday to go to LRV training. Why? How is it possible when you are shorthanded? They would never let you leave your barn. They would not where you are needed. Second of all, I'm like, okay, we got COVID. I don't see PPE. What's the PPE? What does that consist of? Handy wipes, Clorox wipes, gloves, what? Where's the mask out there? Why are your operators still driving full buses? The problem that I'm seeing and I don't want to be mean, and I don't want to cause division, because contract time is near. Not just contract time, but negotiation, not negotiation, but re-election time is near, real close. So instead of talking about who is fighting or putting up a lawsuit about you and who got a lawsuit, you got too much to think about. You got too much to do. Contract is first. And just because a judge said that we weren't entitled, that's what negotiations is about. I was around when Mr. John and Mrs. Ellen was stood up. And you know what they called them? Because they was fighters. They called them the Communist Party. Now, they've been gone 18 years. I've only been here for 25. So I had a short time of the Bill Sis and the Raphaels and the Dudleys. And there's a few other more ahead of that. But I've never seen a regime where they never met and conferred with you about nothing. Now you tell me, this is what I heard in this meeting tonight. I heard that they sat down and said, well, that ain't in the contract. That's not there. But the stuff that's in the contract, they unilaterally stop doing it. Really? What do you do? What do you do, Roger? What do you, Pete, do when they really just slapping you in the face? They're just slapping us in the face. They're just saying, we're going to do whatever we want to, and we're going to use this epidemic, COVID-19. We're going to use it, and we're going to go all the way. We have to stop doing it. We have to stop giving in. We have to stop. Roger, the cable car barn was fighting to get our barn open up. Didn't see you one time. It's open, running. We're working like hot slaves out there. Really? With the minimal cars? Come on. And you show up 3 times already. For what? To tell us what we should have did? That's not how it works. That's not it. I voted for you. I voted for you, Pete. I wanted change. I want change again. But now that you're there, I need you to step up and do what we need you to do. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear no more about what the lawyer said, what the judge said. I don't want to hear that. You go in there and you negotiate. We need travel time. Them operators on that bus, they should deserve that. The police department, when they come in undressed so that they can get paid to get dressed. So I don't mean to be mean, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you out here working through the pandemic, working it out there amongst the virus, amongst it. We bringing it home to our kids, our children, our husbands, our wives. We bringing it home every day. And we don't deserve hazard pay. We should have been fighting for that. We could have got that. If you had a sat down when they shut this city down, you should have got into that contract and started reading like it was the Almighty Bible. Like it was the Almighty Bible, so that you can find out that we could have asked for pay right in the middle of it. See, because that ain't stopping none of this pandemic. It's stopping them from asking us to concede to our raises. Didn't stop them from asking us that. It ain't stopping them from taking buses and runs from the community. The 45 was running. The 41 was running. But I forget what the bus is. I'm discombobulated right now. But what they did was, from these poor people, we travel. Nobody that drives the bus, you have a small percentage of people that can even vote about any proposition, any bill in the city of San Francisco, because nobody lives there. We pay toll. It went up, it's finna go up again. Gas. and we cannot get a parking space? I can't do all of this and I can't even get a place to park. Okay, I'm done. But what I want you to know is, as far as whatever members are out there listening, what I think we need to do is try to find somebody who can, because I'm thinking we gave Roger and Pete 2 chances already. I'm willing to give somebody else a chance, just like I was willing to give you a chance. I'm willing to give anybody a chance that are going there and step in there and say, and go in there and ask them for what, negotiate with them for what I'm asking you for. And not look me in my eye and tell me, oh, well, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Because I've been around here 25 years and I understand negotiation, but I don't even know what I have to give, because you can't get blood out of a turnip. And I'm going to leave you with this closing note. I got a question for you, Pete. How would you rate your performance? How would you rate your performance in the last two elections, and why?
How would I rate my performance? Well, can you ask me about a specific part of my position? I mean, so on the first one, I thought I was doing decent, but as you know, I got kicked out. So I didn't do a very good job of what do you call that? Writing an appeal to international. I'll definitely say that. How do I think I've done as the executive vice president? I think I've done quite well. If you look at the 2 main positions or 2 main jobs of the executive vice president, one is to fill in for the president if he's ever gone, or he or she is ever gone. And the other is I'm doing the step 2s and step 3 arbitrations. There's been a couple cases that we've won that we had never won any cases like that before. If you look at the percentage of cases that we're winning now, we are winning a lot more step 2s and step 3s than we did before. I am working with the chair people for if there's a division and they have a step 2 or a step 3. One of the complaints that I heard from them before is they weren't really allowed to speak in the step 2s and step 3s. I can't say that every single one of them said that, but that's been a common thread. And I feel like I'm working with the chair people. If you look at the amount of cases we've had, it's much better. The numbers, as far as we're winning. I've created a library of arbitrations and all the arbitration results from the last 5 years. The files were just a mess when we took over. We have cleared up the storage room, and now I can access the grievances that we have from the past. An arbitrator that we have, Arbitrator Dooley, said to management and said to me that arbitrations are an extension of the contract. So we are now using those results. And anytime, for instance, we had Anthony at Flynn fought a case and he won. And then Lori had the almost exact same case 3 months later. All we had to do was pull that file from the previous one, gave it to the arbitrator. Typically an arbitrator will wait to the end or send us a result later. The arbitrator just looked at what I gave her. She said, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you the result right now. It's, 3-day suspension down to written warning. So how do I think have I done my job? Quite well. How have I done at reaching out and spending time with people? I could have done better. A lot of us probably haven't gone out and been with it. We were all, I think, a little scared, intimidated by COVID. And, I have family that I don't want to get sick. And could I have gone out more? I've heard that from some cable car people, like, hey, when cable car started, you should have been around. Yeah, I got it. I went around and talked to cable car operators. You guys were doing ambassador work and other things. And I talked to some people out in the different places, but you guys were all spread out around. But,
Thanks, Pete.
and wait, Roger, let me tell her one last thing. I have a reputation with management as a pain in the ass. So I'm proud of that. Thank you.
Ms. Mothers, did you want to say anything else?
No.
Ms. Mothers? Okay.
No.
Thank you. I see Cassandra Griffin. You have to unmute yourself, Cassandra Griffin.
I'm just wanted to know how close are we, or if even if we're in the lineup of hazardous pay, where do we stand with hazardous pay, travel pay, and all of these different pays that we are supposed to be getting and not getting? Where are we
So
at with the hazardous pay?
So in terms of hazard pay, TWU has been reaching out to local 265, local 192. We've been attending the different hazard pay rallies throughout the Bay Area, over in San Jose, in Oakland, in the East Bay. We're getting ready to host another rally here in San Francisco next month. We're working with the San Francisco Transit Riders, with the Golden Gate Transportation, with the Blue Collar Task Force, along with the East Bay Drivers Association, to organize another transit hazard pay rally here in San Francisco. And so we're hitting up all the as many different cities as we can, with many different local unions, so that we can get more support, pretty much. So that's where we are with that. Local 265 down in San Jose, VTA, did receive what they called an appreciation bonus. It was not called hazard pay. It was called an appreciation bonus. I believe that's what President John Courtney stated. And he said, well, we don't really mind what they call it, as long as they're giving us that money. So that's one of the things that we're fighting for in this next contract negotiation.
Okay, so there was a time frame for you to even apply for hazardous pay when this pandemic first happened?
No, there's no timeline. There's no time frame. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. And one of the reasons we believe that 265, local 265 down on San Jose VTA was issued that, was because of the massacre that occurred there a couple of months ago, last year in 2021, where they had a lot of union members lose their lives. And as a result, they were actually one of the unions that did receive a lot of funding from the MTC last year. And everybody is sort of under the understanding that it was because of that tragic massacre that happened.
Okay, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was something in the MOU. I don't have it before me to quote it, but I believe that there was a time frame, Roger, for hazardous pay in the MOU. And I think it was something like 30 to 45 days that we were supposed to apply for it. No?
No. I have never heard of something like that. Pete, have you heard of something like that?
I don't know, Cassandra, paragraph, what is it, 200 or 220 speaks to during emergencies, the SFMTA can make changes, but within 30 days, they have to meet and confer with us, but the term hazardous pay is not in there.
It's not?
No.
Okay. For some reason, I just felt like we had saw something like that, because when this thing had first happened, I kept saying, well, we're entitled to hazardous pay. And then when it was looked up, apparently that time frame was over with. That's what I remember. And I believe that's what Ms. Rashawn was speaking on when she said that at the beginning, you guys should have been, looking in those books like Bibles, seeing like, how can we get our people paid out here? Because we're really vulnerable to this sickness, and our families, our grandparents, our children, our husbands, our wives, we can bring this stuff to them. And I just feel like it's totally unfair that we have to fight so hard for something that's supposed to be there. We got all this money, the MTA got so much money in the stimulus package. And what did they do with it? They made up an ambassador's position, I guess, because they didn't want the operators to go back out there in case we have to shut down again. And they're giving out $25 an hour to all these people, and that money could have been a part of our hazardous pay, and they didn't have to hire as many. You know what I mean? It's like we got cut out of that stimulus money.
Cassandra, you're absolutely right. And one of the scary things that I've heard from managers talking is exactly what you're talking about right here, in terms of the future of automation. And I've heard conversations of this from some of the upper managerial folks, in terms of this is one of the reasons why we could and should go with automation more rapidly, because of the fact that robots don't get sick, robots don't need this, robots don't need healthcare, etc. And that's one of the reasons why we are working diligently to secure protection of jobs for humans, not for robots, because everything that you are saying, management is using that in their favor in terms of health and safety, saying, hey, the operators are getting sick. We don't want operators to get sick. We don't want them to take this to their families. So as a result, we're going to replace them with robots, because if the robots get destroyed, that's perfectly fine, because we want to take care of the operators. That's why we have to automate the system. So everything that you are doing, saying, feeling, etc., is being used right back against us in that manner. And that's why they're moving forward with ATCS, the automatic train control system, in the subways, making more mechanical parts for the vehicles, the new hybrid electric buses that are coming in, meaning less parts for mechanics to work on, etc. It's a slow way of phasing everything out, and that's why we are going kind of big on this automation part in terms of protecting jobs for humans as opposed to robots, because everything that you are saying, Cassandra, they are using 100% against us in the name of health and safety. They're saying, we don't want Cassandra to get sick. We don't want her to take this back to her family. That's why we need to replace Cassandra with a robot, because we want to look out for Cassandra. We don't want her to get sick. And if a robot gets, broken or whatever, that's perfectly fine. We don't care about robots, but we do care about you, Cassandra. We don't want you to get sick. That's why we're going to replace you with a robot. And that's what's happening throughout the public transportation industry. And just on a side note, this is why whenever I go shopping and I see the automated tellers, I always do everything that I can to try to get in line with a human cashier, just for the moral and ethic value and aspect of it, even if it means that I have to wait an extra 20 minutes, because that way you're securing a job for a human. And I hope that you didn't take that as a going off on a tangent. I just want to elaborate on that.
No, I understand. It's pathetic, but I understand. And I get it. I get it. It's so sad, but okay, Roger. Thank you. That's all I needed to say.
Thank you, Cassandra. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? I don't see anybody else. Please chime in. If not, then we'll just go ahead and end the meeting here. And I guess you guys feel free to